This isn't about racism. It's not. He's not disliked because he's brown skinned. He's disliked because it's culturally hard to understand for most people. See, for many years, if you look at the black quarterbacks that were accepted, it wasn't about skill set. Right, we saw Randall Cunningham play very much like this. The plays weren't called for him, but he played very much like this. Russell Wilson is a brown quarterback, but Russell Wilson's culture is easier to understand. Russell Wilson doesn't dance. Russell Wilson doesn't have the hip-hop culture. Young Jeezy and Future aren't going to Russell Wilson games. So for the Caucasian fan, for the fan who doesn't understand that culture, Cam Newton's culture is too young hip-hop, too young brown, right? Because Aaron Rodgers, so we were less offended. Listen, I've been around all these quarterbacks. I was having a talk with a 10-year vet of the NFL, his wife. He's a quarterback in the NFL. And the first thing she said about when Cam Newton won, he just rubs me the wrong way, and I don't know why. And so I had to sit here and have this conversation with.
What'd you tell her?
I told her, I said, well, here's why he rubs you the wrong way. I said, because you don't understand it. Because for so many years, black quarterbacks didn't have to conform to a way of playing quarterback. It had to conform to a way of behavior. See, Russell Wilson's easier to take because every time he gets on the mic, he speaks about God. You don't see him dance because I've been around Russell Wilson in a setting where you're supposed to dance, and he has no rhythm. So people can't even articulate why they don't like him. But I'm not going to turn this into race and say they don't like him because he's black. They don't like his culture. They don't like what he embodies, what he embraces. It's not right for that position. But he's winning and is right for that team. So we all need to just get over it and just even stop having this conversation or making him have to answer it, because every time he has to answer it, we have to talk about it, and it's going to be more picked apart. And then it just brings race into this thing where it's not so much race this time, it's culture.
That was ESPN analyst Ryan Clark talking about Cam Newton. This is our second part of the Black History Month series. Sorry, this is D.
This is C.
And this is
Black Meets World. All right, so how the hell do y'all feel about that?
All right.
VOX was
so many things to say.
VOX was having a really hard time. Go ahead.
I was writhing in my seat over here.
He took me through an emotional roller coaster.
He took me through because I didn't know where he was going at first.
Right.
And certain parts I understand, but then I guess certain parts I maybe disagree with a little bit. So it sounds like So he's trying to be objective here, but it sounds like...
And this is in response to Cam Newton's comment about basically people are afraid of a quarterback that is African-American because they've never seen it before.
Or they've never seen one like him before, right?
They were saying that they don't know who to compare him to.
Yeah, exactly.
And I guess my thing is, too bad. Just because, he gave the Russell Wilson example about how he can't dance and all this kind of stuff. He's easier to digest. The lady, Cam Newton rubs her the wrong way. I think there's still, just kind of put it on a macro level, I think there's still this issue of other ethnicities thinking that all black people are the same, right? And so I think that's why it's hard to digest a Cam Newton for some people. Because, they expect,
He's a young black man from Southwest Atlanta. But confident. And also,
I'm sorry, but even that though, it's like, so what? He's a black quarterback. He's a quarterback. And he's a top performing quarterback.
Hello.
Right?
He's making y'all money.
Right. So let's just start there, right? So, if you can swallow that, then that's really all you need to know, for real.
But wait, have you seen the tweets and all the social media about him being called a nigger? Like, fuck this nigger. Why is he allowed to play football? Like, crazy.
So Roethlisberger can rape women and he can still.
But let me interject though.
Yeah, I mean, because you know the rules are different. Because we can't dance, but they can rape people. But I'm sorry, too much. Too much. I'm sorry, too much.
Go ahead, Jay.
Sorry. Let me do a little theory.
Calm me down,
to
Jay.
Some extent, he's right in regards to the cultural element. But here's the internal aspect I think for minorities need to grasp. Why do we care? Why do we care so much about the approval? Or to get alone what they think about me at all? As for Cam Newton, he don't really care that much.
He don't care.
He's
Nah.
like,
He's
I'm going to the
dabbing
Super
all
Bowl.
over the place.
Right.
Yeah.
Unapologetically.
They
Right.
find him every game.
And that's fine. And that's fine.
For
I didn't-
dabbing?
I didn't know
No,
that.
they find him every game for giving a ball to somebody in the stands. I mean, he's unapologetically himself all the time.
Yeah.
And so I think
But
to that point, like,
to
why
that
do we?
point is I really don't care what you say about me on social media.
Yeah.
I don't think Cam Newton cares.
No, he
I
don't.
think at the end of the day, it's about his performance. And his performance is stellar, and to the extent of not having no one to compare. We have a couple people to compare. McNabb was just in the league,
Vic.
Vic
Vic
I mean, Vic
more-
wasn't much of a pocket passer, and that's what they're talking about performance of him actually being an accurate thrower.
God.
Which is
But- which is another
which is a
concept.
whole other
That's
thing
another
too.
Right.
sports
Yes.
conversation,
Yeah.
but
We can go there.
we could go there a little
because there's a
bit,
race element to that.
Right,
too.
right. Because they assume that because typically the position of halfback or fullback is usually occupied by African Americans.
Right.
They're usually the one cutting the loose and
And the
run fast
notion is
and all
that we can't, we don't have the
don't have the
wherewithal,
skills.
we don't have the mental
the
capacity,
mental capacity
to be a quarterback.
to because there's a lot of elements to the quarterback position.
Oh, there's some
that-
deep-seated
Right.
racial
Wow,
shit in the game.
I'm new to
It's
that.
about leadership
To that
qualities
part,
too.
yeah.
It's more
'Cause,
about the character of the person.
Because
and
we're the
leadership.
running backs, we're the wide receivers. Like, you know,
Right.
we can run. You know what I'm
They're
saying?
saying basically it was a testament of athletic capability. They're acknowledging the fact that we're athletically
Right.
gifted,
But not.
but
Because
not
white
the
people can't jump.
intellectually
Worthy of-
right. Like,
Right.
and that even in that in of itself is kind of subjugation.
Yes.
Subjugating people because you're saying automatically, I'm genetically predisposed to be more
Right.
athletic than you.
Right,
I'm not
right.
saying the hard work that I put in to become that
Right.
athletic, etc.
Right. And even
But-
more, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but I think to some extent, and this is an internal conversation, and I like to flip it a lot
Yeah.
because we I think as a culture we look out a lot to say, well, why are you doing this to me? And
Right.
Here's what I would say. I don't ever take away from that regard of saying like there's a lot of things, there's a lot of enemies formed against you in certain respect. That's a reality, and you want to work to get so that those enemies can see that you're not necessarily seeing them as an enemy, but at the same time, we gotta work on the narrative amongst ourselves in the sense of like, I don't need your approval.
Right.
I don't need you to necessarily. You like think of it like a company. You think Steve Jobs woke up in the morning and said, "Oh, you know what? Samson just dropped that note for." You know what I'm saying? Look, this is gonna be a hard week for me. He's focused on his initiatives.
Right.
He's like, I'm coming here because I'm gonna create whatever the next greatest thing. And I think as a culture, if we adopted that, what we're doing internally about the economic means that we have, etc. I think all of that other stuff kind of would. Yeah. They'll have to respect you in a certain respect. You know.
So to dissect like even a little further, so you remember the whole laptop scandal? So you remember he played at Florida?
Cam Newton?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And he was playing with Tebow, if I'm not mistaken, Tim Tebow.
Oh.
And he was like, so Tebow was quarterback, and he was not getting the same type of shine. And there was like a whole laptop scandal. He got kicked out indefinitely.
What do you mean by laptop
What's the
scandal?
laptop?
Just
He stole a laptop.
Who, Tim Tebow?
No.
Cam Newton.
Cam
Oh,
Newton.
Cam Newton.
Cam Newton
Oh.
stole a laptop.
Allegedly?
Allegedly
Let's throw that
stole a
out there.
laptop. He was kicked out of school for this. And he had to go to he had to move back to Atlanta.
Wow.
He had to go to community college.
I didn't know that shit.
And then after that is when he started picking up his skills. At this community college, he ended up actually winning them the championship. A year after that, he got recruited to Auburn University.
Wow.
So at Auburn, you remember he won them, I think, SEC championship, am I correct?
Yeah.
He
They
won the
won
SEC championship when he was at Auburn. And that's when all of the fame and notoriety, that's when he got drafted as the number one pick started happening based off of his performance at this number one top tier, primarily white university, football, big football school. That's one thing. But you remember all the attention around him when he was at Auburn? And all the mind you, he's
I
like,
kind of don't. I don't. So you gotta
Yeah,
refresh my memory.
I don't know where you're going. Sorry.
okay. No, quarterback. At
I'm with you
Auburn.
though.
He was
Yeah, he was
quarterback
quarterback
at Auburn. At Auburn, but
He was
it's
a
the same.
Heisman. They won that SEC championship. Yeah.
Exactly. But you know what I'm saying? It was the same type of confusion around this black quarterback because
I see.
there's a test
You
to
think they were
aptitude test.
comparing him to Tebow, and the way he acted culturally was very different than other quarterbacks in college.
And also, this reputation has followed him.
right.
Does that make sense? And on another note, and that's one thing I'm going to table. But on another note, when I was listening to this brother talk about like, Cam Newton culture and things like that, and it's not about race, I'm so sick and tired of people separating culture from race. Granted, they can be two separate subjects, but they are interrelated. Definitely. My community that I grew up in and the culture I grew up in might be independent from my race, but let's say 8 times out of 10, it's probably directly affected by it. There's not going to be, I'm not going to use that name. There's not going to be a Sarah who, from my job, who grew up in, I was gonna say Becky, man. I was gonna say Becky. I was like, don't use Becky, Carol. But if there was a Becky, Sarah,
every white girl gotta be Becky. Like everyone.
It was a song. I want that Becky.
Yeah.
I want that Becky.
I know. I'm just joking.
Anyway,
Thank you, Black.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's culturally different. She's not gonna understand like Cam Newton doing a dab and dancing all the time and doing all this stuff because she didn't grow up in a home that likely did that. There is a chance that she might have a home that has flavor. And that dances at a young age, and she developed rhythm at a young age. And there might be another young black girl who had the same thing, and another Latino boy who had the same thing. But more than likely, my race dictates exactly that. The culture and the community that I grew up in. And I kind of get upset and frustrated when a person goes on. Mind you, I agree with a lot of what Ryan Clark said, but at the same time, it's just like, you don't have to like accommodate or give a full explanation about like how the culture is different. Cam Newton is a young brother from Atlanta, Georgia, that grew up in the streets, who happened to have a father that took an interest in him and wanted to make sure he was disciplined and play football and get to the NFL.
So I want to go back to something that VOX said. There's 2 things. One, the focus on him being a black quarterback really irritates me. Like from the very jump, because we constantly are qualified by our race when it comes to stuff like this.
Right, that's a good point.
So that annoys me because it's like, okay, well he's a quarterback, like everybody, like Tebow, like Peyton Manning. You know,
when you say white quarterback,
right? It's not like
like Tom Brady is a white quarterback.
And this is what kills me about racism in general. It's like people, anti-racism doesn't exist because we don't quantify white people by their whiteness, but every black person or every person of color is quantified by their person.
Right.
By their
it's like
color.
the standard.
Right. But regardless of that, like that one thing that I think people focus on is definitely like him being black. Now, culture and race.
Yeah.
There's a separation.
I was gonna jump on that.
I mean, I'm an African that grew up in America. I get it.
We can all agree to disagree because there's different angles to approach this.
Let's go for it.
I think there's the other day I was trying to explain what Black Twitter is to a group of non-black people.
Okay.
And it was like, is it about race or is it about culture? And
they're interrelated.
They are interrelated in that sense. There are some times where I think they definitely overlap. You know,
it's not
the
indefinite.
Number one thing, it's not indefinite. Like hashtag Ask Rachel. That's culture to me. Everybody who grew up and you asking what Tommy's real job is, or whatever. Like those things are things that have to do with our culture.
Yeah.
I think there are times where our race is separate. Go ahead, VOX. You look like
I know.
He's bursting.
I think they are interrelated, but I think what tends to happen more often though is that your race tends to determine the culture that's put on you or that's ascribed to you, that you're assumed to have.
Point.
So that's kind of what rubbed me the wrong way about his whole like Russell Wilson, juxtaposition, right? He's like, oh, Russell Wilson can't dance, they're like two totally different people. Oh, well, of course they are, because they grew up in 2 different cultures while both being, of at least part.
Is Russell Wilson fully black?
I think he's half.
But then
again, but then like Obama. I mean, look, y'all know if
people different, man.
Right?
Yeah,
people are different.
But Obama can dance and sing. Though.
Hello.
You know what I'm saying? So like,
Hashtag Michelle taught me.
Which proves my point. And Obama was raised by a white woman, right? So
That's true.
which proves my point of like.
So was J. Cole.
It's not an in-sum game, right? All black people do not come from the same culture. All black people are not alike. And the fact that white people can't seem to wrap their heads around that, it's kind of their problem. Mm-hmm. I think.
Well, and
that we have to deal with it.
Well, I think a separate example of that is like Serena. If you look at her as an athlete, she is the best female athlete probably of all time in my eyes. You know, like
I think she's one of the best athletes in the world, regardless of gender.
yeah, exactly. But people quantify her as being the best black female as opposed to the best.
Do they?
I don't know about that.
I don't know. I don't hear that a lot.
They say she's the best.
Well,
Yeah.
recently, I feel like recently
Finito.
now it is
Yeah.
the best.
Now, recently.
But before it was.
But growing up,
black.
and I don't know. There's different outlets saying different things. There's obviously going to be the haters that are always quantifying her by her gender or her race or both, and there are always going to be the people who say, "Well, look, how could she not be the best?"
I think the culture of the sports makes a difference too, right?
okay.
Because like tennis is a very worldly sport, right?
Yeah.
So you got like Indians competing, you got like Asians you have like like from
Russians,
India, Russians. You have like
yeah,
a
Asians,
whole
yeah.
Indians are from,
cross section
Asia?
of worldwide.
Western Asia.
Whereas like football is so American.
It's
It's like
fundamentally the
it's-
American
It's
sport.
it's American, so it's just like white people and the whole history of
It is
black
actually white
athletes.
versus
But
black.
this is what
Yeah,
this
you
is
know
what
what I
my
mean?
thing
So
is,
it's a
right?
different culture.
I think why it matters is because your grandpa, who is the owner of this particular NFL team, whose wife has watched Cameron Newton dab, and she's like, I don't know if I like that stuff
That
he's
looks
doing.
dangerous.
It looks dangerous. I feel like he's corrupting our children.
signs.
Gang signs. I think he's throwing up. I don't understand any of that.
Right.
And they're having that pillow talk, which then translates now into the boardroom, which now translates into why we having a conversation like this at this moment.
That's a good
Exactly.
point. That's a good point.
So it sadly it does slightly matter, because unfortunately the people who are at the top of this whole, and I mean I can talk about like the comparison of like NFL players and the NFL corporation in terms of slavery, because you have these people who primarily look like me and you, melanin rich, and people who are at the top don't look like us and are melanin deficient. Who's getting paid? It's just like the NCAA. You got all these players giving
Right.
you millions upon
And getting
millions of
hurt.
money, getting hurt. Can't even go elevate and get and even get handouts on the back end because they might get fined or whatever,
Right.
and yet you're making millions on this industry. So I don't know. To me, it's just like it shouldn't matter. We should rise above, but at the same time, sadly it does sometimes.
I'm also troubled by trying to figure out what Ryan Clark's perspective is on this. Like, does he think that Cam should assimilate more? Like, does he think?
I didn't get that.
Yeah,
I didn't get that.
I couldn't really.
I think he was
Wait,
saying like I want y'all to understand why he is who he
and
is.
part of his
He was the same.
his demeanor, I think, is being the analyst. He's not giving his own personal opinion. He's
Okay.
giving the analysis of what everybody's sort of
Yeah.
doing about it. And so, to me, like, I love Cam Newton. I think he's great.
Yeah.
He gets fined every game, and they really give him a hard time. And I'm just like, he's got it. The thing about it is, like you were saying, he's making the money. So as far as he's
The
concerned,
shmoney. I'm sorry.
Regular schmegular.
Oh.
Shout out to Love and Hip Hop real quick.
I don't even watch that
Y'all
show.
know y'all watch. Don't front.
I boycott that nonsense.
Y'all watch that
But
shit.
ain't like
Cardi
I
Cardi
came
B
a-
is the
Yo,
best
I came
person
across
ever.
that foolishness on Instagram before she became hot. She's like, but y'all be asking me what I be doing. I'm a hoe. I'm a stripper hoe because I'm about this money. And I said, yo, who is this chick
I
and
wanna be
why
her friend.
am
On the
I dying
On the
laughing?
show a couple weeks ago, she was like, "I'm just a regular schmegular girl from the Bronx." I was like, "Wow."
Yes.
wait, who is this person?
Cardi B.
Oh, you don't
Cardi
need to
B.
know.
Oh my God.
America, Black Meets World, everyone listening, y'all
Wait,
should
you
never
don't
watch
need
this
more
show.
Wait.
Cardi B.
We do not endorse it on Black Meets World.
She's
as
awesome.
D is currently Googling
Wait, is
this
that-
girl. Yo, listen.
Okay, so I don't watch any Love and Hip Hop or any. I don't
You
know
shouldn't.
anything.
I don't endorse it.
I don't need
Like,
to.
I
We
literally-
at Black Meets World are making a public announcement. We do not endorse trash TV.
Don't enjoy-
Y'all love Cardi B.
Even though I caught that girl on Instagram, and I was like, yo, why she's so funny though?
She's hilarious.
But
I
And
can't
she
endorse
keeps
it.
so real.
I don't watch Wives.
She did
or
an etiquette
anything.
class.
I don't watch it
She ain't
either.
got Jocelyn though. She still ain't got Jocelyn.
Jocelyn.
Jocelyn Hernandez from Atlanta.
She's the one that was married to
had
engaged
their-
to Stevie J.
Stevie J.
They have their own show now.
Don't do that.
That comes after Love and Hip Hop.
Yes, they do.
Stevie
I can't
and-
endorse this anymore.
Stevie,
Stevie
and
and Jocelyn.
Stevie and
Jocelyn.
Stevie and Jose.
I'm the baddest bitch.
You want to fight? I'll fight you right now. I don't like to talk. I like to fight. You talking too much.
Sounds
You know she's
Listen,
28
Stevie.
years old?
'Cause I beat that bitch ass.
Shit.
Yes, I thought she was in her 30s.
Wow, really?
Yes, I just found out in the last
I will say
episode.
this one thing. I saw her in person once, and I was like, "Oh,
You saw her in person?
yo!"
Wait,
I was
I'm
like, "That
sorry.
body was stacked." She was on my flight to New York, and she was on a plane,
From-
and it was
from
really
where?
crazy. And I was,
From where?
and usually I'm really really good sneaking in those photos. It's from Atlanta, of course. That's the only place that Black people ride first class. Anywhere else, I'm not.
Don't do that.
It's the from a person who flies every week. Facts. Atlanta, the only place where I'm like, how come I didn't get bumped up in first class today? Oh, so I was these black people in the front. Power to y'all as I go back to coach. Anyway, so I'm getting on the plane. And I don't know what I was doing, but I've gotten better at this. I always have my like headphones in. I be trying not to make eye contact with nobody because I don't want nobody bothering me. So I had my like hoodie on, headphones in. I like hear somebody loud. Like I heard them from like I was on like the in between the building and the plane. Like when you walking down, I heard them from there, and I was like, "Yo, what's so loud? Like, is someone like yelling? Is there like a party?" It sounded like 18 people making noise. I get on the plane. Sounds getting closer. I look over. It's Stevie and Jocelyn. And she had started choking, and then he reached over and like tried to hit her on the back. It was just a full scene.
Oh my god.
And usually I have
Cameras
my phone.
around?
No, it was just them being I feel like that's their regular selves.
Regular stuff.
Get out of here.
On another note, I ain't talking about these fools no more.
I know, okay.
We're
On
gonna
that
wrap
note.
this episode up. It's been lovely.
Lovely.
I hope you guys wait, so I want to just say this thing. So we are currently recording this episode before the Super Bowl.
Right.
Yes, there's hidden cameras, guys. We're recording this episode before the Super Bowl. So we do not know the result, but I am personally
Damn.
hey, I'm rooting for Cam Newton. Hopefully he's from the home team.
Are you sure?
Honestly, because I am from Atlanta and I am a Falcons fan, I felt some sort of way.
Falcons.
If you a Falcons fan, a Saints fan, you really was like, I don't really rock with the fucking Panthers,
I don't
though.
know what's right.
I'm not really sure, but you know, it's the South.
It's a
He's a
love-hate
brother. Honestly,
relationship.
I just want to see Black excellence.
NFC
Yes.
South.
And in honor of Black History Month, I just feel like this is a great
It's
opportunity
well-deserved.
for him to shine to the top.
I think that the Panthers have really played well this entire season. I don't know if y'all been watching the playoffs.
They were undefeated. Well, we beat them
Yeah.
anyway.
In a fluke, but whatever.
in a fluke. Every team got beat in a fluke this year. The
Especially
Eagles beat the Patriots.
I
Let's
have
all
to
not
learn
forget.
those.
Didn't that guy
Respect
on the
that.
Eagles team got the tattoo on his neck and it said the Super Bowl?
Shut up. It had the
Yeah.
year too?
Yeah, 2016. And he had the Super
You know
I don't
what? My
who, somebody
people-
on the Eagles.
Don't worry,
Yeah.
I'm going to Google it.
Yeah.
So in other news, I feel like I agree. Definitely rooting for Cam Newton and all of our Black excellence glory. It'll
There's
be
a lot of black players on the Broncos, just to remind you.
Thank you for that
Are you
reminder.
who are you?
Oh, here we go.
Who are you rooting for?
Here we go. Eagles 2016. Is he playing?
No.
Wow.
He's just from.
I guess.
VOX.
He's tripping with that.
That was like the most genuine wow I've heard in a while.
He's
Wow.
tripping with
Maybe he just really likes bald eagles.
Are you from here?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I ain't cheering for no Panthers. I'm
Oh,
cheering for the Broncos.
Giants? Who are you?
Giants all day.
Okay.
That's
What
it.
part of New York are you from?
Brooklyn. So-
Not the Buffalo Bills.
Nah, Buffalo Bills. We don't rock with damn Buffalo Bills.
Why are you acting like that?
I
We
mean,
barely rock with the Jets.
Yeah.
I was about to say
Barely
there's
rock
several
with the
teams that we
Jets.
can. So what's the? Okay, I just want to get the
Side-eye
background.
Jets is like, all right.
So what is the mentality? It's like, is it Giants then? Like, how do you become? Is it what your parents, your cousin, them do?
It's the same with the Yankees and Mets. If you in Queens, you a Mets fan, and we respect
If you the
that.
rest of
the rest of
New
New
York-
York, you a Yankees fan. That's pretty much.
Pretty much how it goes.
What about Jets?
My dad's
Yeah,
from the
let's-
Bronx. They
Jets
were
is
Yankees
kind of
fans.
like those. I don't know.
Jets are like the
It's weird.
stepchild.
Yeah, they're the same area with the Mets, but
I feel like a lot of Jersey people love
yeah,
it.
Jersey.
Being from Jersey, a lot of people are Jets fans as opposed to Giants fans.
Right.
But then South Jersey is really Eagles fans. So
Yeah.
it just depends on.
Yeah.
that makes
It
sense.
really depends on your
Yeah,
just
that's
like
true.
random allegiance.
That's true.
I happen like
I'm Giants.
my dad's from the Bronx. He's a Yankees fan. My grandparents who are from the South were Mets fans. I don't know why. I'm not really.
team.
I don't care
the
about
Braves
baseball.
have been around for some time.
I mean,
A lot of people.
So on that note, we're gonna wrap up the episode.
Lift every voice and
Right.
sing.
Well,
Drake's gonna call.
you said
close
no
us out.
weapon formed against us. I wanted to hear that.
Wow.
No, he said something
did say
earlier,
that.
You
and
did say that.
I heard it, and I was like, that
I
should
know
be
you.
the.
I know
Last-
you.
Are you
thinking about
going-
it than me.
one of y'all.
Weapon formed against me shall prosper. It won't work.
Yes.
All the single ladies.
I hate you. Oh my god.